and welcome to the Dutch FP2, and I cut out for a second there. I will be doing this for approximately 10 minutes and then you'll have Joshua Birch back with us for covering this session of MotoGP. I keep going in and out, I think that's better. Right, hello. Yeah, the lead's a bit messed up, so I'll leave Joshua to get back to the box. This will be a half an hour session. Currently... Oh. Right, I will also be looking very close to the camera for the timings since they are not currently up on the screen. Right. Yeah, they're literally not up on the screen at all. Right now we're on board with Marc Marquez. He started his free practice run already. It will be quite interesting, I think, going into the race and everything to see how they all are coping. Of course, qualifying is this afternoon, or is it straight after this? I think it's straight after this. Qualifying happens. Honestly, I've always thought that it was a little bit too close to this time. They should at least give like an hour, I think. Maybe 2 hours, like in between each session, just so that they can actually have a break. Right. They still do not have any other timings up on there. I mean, I barely have any timings at all. Marquez has just come back into the pit lane. Having his little break, we can... Oh, he skipped into the garage. He's obviously very excited and happy with that run. Fixing his knee pads, it seems. Yeah, so that was apparently a good run for Marquez. Let's see if I can see on here where he came. I cannot tell, but... And I cut out again everything. There we go. Here's a replay of something happening with Marquez. Oh! I think his knee pads must have started to come off or something, since he took his hand off the bike and had to readjust something nearer the knee. That's interesting. Though, and yet again another focus on his knees for some reason. Right. So, I can see on here that the timings are going like up and people are getting like faster times and better practices, and Marquez has just gone out back on the track, but we have not been graced with it on the TV pictures so that I can see exactly what's going on without having to literally squint right here to where I'm looking. It's right there for me. No, there for me, your angle. And that is difficult. Oh, and finally they've come back up. Currently Vinales is at the top of the session with a 133.144. Bagnaia is currently second in this free practice 2 session. Bastianini, I believe, is third. Martin fourth. Raul Fernandez fifth. And everyone seems to be out on the track now except Alex Marquez. He seems to have stayed back in some pit lanes. Acosta right now is showing really great promise with his times. He's estimated to be first in this free practice 2 session. Said 1 because I was looking at the estimated 1 and just had a little bit of a glitch with TV pictures, but it's back now. I think he's heading into the final corner now, and now he's gone top with a 133.003. Big fan of those threes today. That is very good from Acosta. Managed to beat Vinales' time. Right. And looks like Martin is setting a good sector 1. Can he set a good sector 2? Sector 2 isn't as good as a sector 1. But Acosta, again, is setting a good sector times. Bagnaya's just gone top. Oh, what's happened there? Bagnaya just went top with a 132.295, but it seems that Acosta's lap time was deleted. If I had that little timing screen of mine, I could actually see where it's deleted. But it seems like his lap time has been deleted. I can only assume that he must have hit the track limits warning somewhere along the way. Though that is a shame for him, though he is making up for it with a good sector times already. But can he make it out of 6th position again? That is the question. What can he do? I think he's just coming up to the line in a moment's time. Right now we're looking at Martin. He is almost 200ths down on the time of Bagnaia right now. So he's estimated probably about 2nd position, but Bagnaia is beating his own time by about 0.2 of a second. 4 now. 0.4 of a second. He is beating his time by. He is showing real promise in these practice sessions so far. I reckon, I'm going to call it now, he's probably going to win this weekend. Because he is showing quite a good amount of pace, and he's just done a 131.670. Improving on his time yet again, remaining in 1st position. Martin in 2nd, Vinales in 4th. And Acosta, on his rerun, seemed to only go 4th. And got a replay here of Bezzecchi going onto the gravel. So that must have messed up his time, because he's obviously down in the bottom position. That must have messed up his time so badly. I bet he's so annoyed with himself. I'll read you through who is currently in the top 10 before they change, as I can see right now on the thing. First is Bagnaia, Martin is 2nd, Vinales 3rd, 4th is Acosta, Morbidelli is 5th, Ralph Fernandez is 6th, 7th is Bastianini, Quartararo 8th, Binder is 9th, and Alessio Spargaro is in 10th position. Right, and here we come with the time changes. Everything is changing up now. You've got a yellow in sectors 2 and 3. What is that about? Oliveira just went up into 9th position. Marc Marquez has got into 6th position. But what's this yellow on track? I think is that Bezzecchi again? It is. Yes, it is. It is Bezzecchi yet again. He has crashed out for a 2nd time in this session. Here's a replay at turn 7 of what happened. He just lost it going into the corner. And wow, obviously the bike went far away from him, so he just kept rolling. Literally, it was like he was just being spun around by something, like he was on a merry-go-round or something. So he kept rolling. Like, that was a lot of rolls. He's probably got a bad headache after that, I would. 20 minutes to go of this session. Joshua will probably be in soon. Bagnaia has finally entered the pits after continuously beating his own time. He is 0.5 faster than Martin. So I think he's pretty happy. I think he's probably the only happy one right now. Marquez is probably happy too. He's got into 8th position. I don't know what was wrong with him earlier on. So, seemed to be having a bit of problems with his knee pads or something, because he did readjust them when he went back into the pit lane. D'Antonio makes his way up into 3rd position for 132.318. Ralph Fernandez, yet again, has gone up into 5th position. He seems to be really favouring that today. Bastianini and Morbidelli entering the pits. And Raul Fernandez recently, I have got to say, he has been knocking it out of the park recently and shown a real improvement upon last year with everything, to be honest. And he's really just showing, like, I can do this. And I think it's going to be a real promised driver. I wonder whether he can get a win this year at some point. Maybe next year. I feel like next year is his year for winning. Like, maybe at least one race. Acosta seems to be the one to really want to win one this year. I mean, I think he definitely has it in him. On board with Oliveira right now, estimated 10th position at his current state, but Marc Marquez is going fast enough that he has a red sector 1 and it's estimated probably about 2nd position, taking away Martin's place. There's another yellow in sector 3. Who's that? Yeah, Marc Marquez goes up into 2nd position with Martin being bumped down into 3rd. Who is the yellow? Who's the yellow for? Seems to have gone green now, but that has a green livery on it. From what I can see, from like the dots I can see on the tracker. So that's either Vinales or Espargaro. We have not had a replay to tell who that was. So here's a replay of Marc Marquez. Was it him? Marc Marquez and Martin doing something. Martin went just a little bit too far off of the track, but he wouldn't have gone off to cause a yellow. What's this yellow about? What was the yellow? Are we not going to get to know what the yellow was? No, we're not. We're not going to get to know. That's rude. On board with Acosta right now. He is 1/10 down. He's probably going to go into 2nd position. Though he is doing yellow sector times. Well, orange sector times throughout. And this is the crash. Sectors 2 and 3 now. Who is that? That's Raul Fernandez. I cursed him before. Was he the one who had this sector 3 one before? His airbag's definitely gone off. So that's turn 7 again. Turn 7 is a real problem right now. I can predict bad things for a race for turn 7. And is it the same? It is exactly the same as Bezecchi's. He is just gone real. He's just. I'm trying to think how to describe it. Do you know when American football players throw their version of football, like the spiral? It's kind of that way that the riders are actually falling off of their bikes. Though that is the 2nd time that we know of that they have fallen off like that at turn 7, because Bezecchi obviously did exactly the same thing. And he had a bit of a worse spiral, to be honest. 16 minutes left of the session to go. Do you want to take over? Yeah. So I've done half of the session. Quite enjoyable so far. You shall enjoy it. They keep going off at turn 7.
Well, thank you, Megan. How tiny is your head as well? As I come in and sit down. Hello, everyone. Yeah, you're right. That lead's a bit off today, isn't it? On our headphones. Maybe it's not plugged in right. To come in as well. It's not the correct one, so every now and then it just goes wrong. There we go. I can hear myself now. Thank you, Megan. Hello, everybody. So, free practice 2 ahead of the Dutch TT. And so far, it's Pecco Bagnaia fastest with Marc Marquez in 2nd. Reminder, this session, it doesn't really count for anything overall. It's not an actual official session in terms of time. We've already had that, of course, but we've got qualified coming up just after this. And then we have everything else. Hey SHT, hello everyone. So yes, I'm back in as well. As Megan keeps saying, turn 7 again, a lot of action continuing to come out from that zone of the track. As we'll open up the blog, get that all working, and get it all set up as well. So yeah, Bagnaia for Marc Marquez as well currently at the moment, as we've opened up the timing screens up here in Combox. 131.670. Megan's in half the session. I'll do half the session. Megan will now get ready in around. Oh, there's gravel on the track at turn 7. I wonder if they'll red flag this to clean up the circuit a little bit. It wouldn't be unheard of. They've done it before. Just to make sure it's all safe. But we've got 15 minutes left. And this is the first crash of Alicia Spargo. Turns into 7. And I presume the front's going to dip away at some point as well. No, he's just avoiding the gravel. Oh, he's put his hand up to say this about the gravel. Right, okay. So Alicia Spargo wants this red flagged in order to clean up the gravel. I can see why. So far it's staying green. They haven't thrown a red flag at the moment. Bagnaia comes back out on the circuit. He was in pit lane. Sorry, we don't see the gap. Hang on a minute. Well, we've got the people like sector times and gaps. There you are. People like a bit of both, so we always try and change it up a little bit to come into it. So there is the timing screen that you can see. So what lap they did on and the times, the best numbers as well. Usually we have my computer, but there's more Megan's for this weekend. Apart from the sprint race. The sprint race will be nice and normal again with our usual race screens. But there you are, 130. Well, the gap is 3/10 to Marc Marquez and Bagnaia. 0.380. Gap between Bagnaia and Martin is 0.5 of a second. Digi is 0.6. Hopefully that helps. As Alex Marquez jumps up into 6th place on a 132 as well. No worries at all, Matteo. As I'll have a coffee. Oh, is it tea? It's tea, isn't it? I've just come off air from Formula 3 and their session, which ended in a bit of drama. Won't spoil it if you want to go back and watch it. So it's worth it. A lot of fun action. Just we're on a green screen, by the way, for why the back's not changing. We're not actually in this com box. So yeah, it's green screen. Do love a bit of green screen tech, especially when we've actually got good light to use it. Alex Marquez, and we've got LEDs around, as well as a big projector light above us, so it's hot sitting here, but it's not too bad. Excuse me. Red flag! Red flag's out! They've red flagged the session. So that is for track conditions. And that is going to spoil the qualifying times at the moment. So, red flag for track conditions. They'll get out there with the brooms and sweep up the gravel. Should only take a few minutes or so. Shouldn't be too big of a change, but yeah, red flag's out. Big one from Alex yesterday it was, yeah. And it is due to turn 7, the gravel on the racing line. They need to get that sorted. So, red flag. And now get out there with the brooms and get finishing quickly. Come on. I want to get this session underway again. This will have a knock-on effect to qualifying. Instead of 10:30, I might get a little bit closer. Excuse me. Voice is going. What time is the actual sprint race for Formula 1? That's the question you need to see. Oh, it was a huge accident. Rolling in the gravel 3 or 4 times. And again for Ralph Fernandez, similar accidents. So Megan's correct, turn 7 is a bit of a lethal hold at the moment. So we shouldn't do too long until the practice session resumes. So we've got 90 minutes, so it's 11 o'clock the sprint race starts. So it shouldn't be too bad of a time difference in total. Just trying to put my iPad somewhere as well. Get it to stay still. Wait a minute. There we go. That'll do. Just popped it in between the thing. So Bagnaia is a 131.670. Marc Marquez is a 132.050. Martin third at the moment too. Remember the crash between Marc and Bastian in Q1 at the Dutch Grand Prix last year? I do, yeah. There's Bezecchi's bike being wheeled back in. The first one to crash 97. Aero screen destroyed. Not too much damage to the actual bike, it doesn't seem, so that should be able to get restarted quickly. So it's a red flag. You can see the interrupted. They've got they've got a JCB out there as well with a sweeper on attached to the front to hoover up the gravel, and then okay, so it shouldn't take too long for the session to restart. I'd say at least 5 minutes, which puts us 9:35, 12 minutes, 42. Session could still start realistically at 55, and only have a 5-minute delay. So race control shouldn't be too worried about this affecting the rest of the day's plans. I'll catch it up anyway with Moto E when we get to that session as well, so that there isn't too much of a danger or worry to come into it. Marshals here are really fast and efficient as they sweep it all away. And Bastianini watching on 12th at the moment with a 1:32.862. Interesting, let's look at the tyres that everyone's on. If they're hollowed out, it's a old tyre. If it's solid, it's a new tyre. You can see everyone's on old soft rears, but Bagnaia is at his time on a brand new front hard compound as well. Just find that interesting. Navi Vinales 1:32.327, 0.6 of a second back. I just realised actually that this audio might not be the highest it can be, and I can't find the remote. Oh, it's behind the laptop. That's why I can't find the remote. Yeah, I was right. Oh, that's annoying even me. Under these conditions. Oh, okay, so the mute button turns it back. So, we're on combined. Let's take a look at current session. Is that different to what we've got? Yeah. Bagnaia on Martin. So, Bagnaia, Marc Marquez, Martin. Those are your top three. Session's going to resume shortly. Big damage to Bezecchi's bike. Bezecchi's GP23 is completely wrecked as the team pushes it back towards the pit lane. So, it is as bad. Pit lane opens at 35 in 2 minutes time. That's the new MotoGP schedule. So a 12-minute session takes us to 47, which is 3 minutes before the start of the thing. But in the 15-minute break, starts at 11:45. Blimey, it's going to be a tight session. It is going to be very tight, isn't it, this one? So, new schedule, pit lane opens at 10:35. Local time. That's 9:35 if you're watching in the UK, 10:35 Central European time. I presume something like 6, well maybe earlier actually over there. What time is it backwards? Stateside Eastern. We need like a world clock that you can all see. And the local time for each racetrack. So when I say local time, you can work it out for yourself. Effectively, it's in 60 seconds time that we're going to go green. So there isn't too much of a worry. I'm just looking at my comment box window. I don't actually get to have a comment box window for a while. So, let's go green then. 12 minutes left on the clock. Takes us to 47. 48. At least, I think the session will start at 55. They'll be in a very quick procedure. Can't imagine we'll have too long of a wait. It's only usually 10 minutes between sessions anyway, so a 55 start should be expected. Takes us to 10:10. Then a 10-minute break, 20 to 35. It's only 5-minute delays. It's not that bad at all. Bagnaia 1:31.6. Green light, and away we go. Finally, we can get this session underway and restarted. Took a while, that. For a bit of gravel, anyway. To play hosts and factors into it. Not exactly what I was expecting to happen, to be fair. Thought we might have a bit of a easier run of it than we did. But them's the breaks. What's the old saying? All's fair in love and war in MotoGP. Seems to be the case at the moment. Just making sure everything's okay on battle screen wise. It seems to be a bit of a mess at the moment. Oh, massive mess actually. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother touching that. If we need to go anywhere, we'll go battle screen, which is our timing monitors. So they head out on the circuit once more to see what they can find, and hopefully they can find a lot more useful information out there on the circuit, because we are in a bit of a dire situation
Because he's just doing a...
at the moment. Got rid of the noise in the background. Here comes Pecco. Back out onto the circuit then, and we'll change tyres. Looking forward to tomorrow's action as well here, the Grand Prix. Sprint race later on, myself and Megan in the comments box. We don't stop today. It is non-stop. A lot. Let's give you the coverage details actually for the rest of the weekend. Well, the rest of today at least. Get them up on my phone via Discord. So we've got well, it was 9:45, now it's going to be slightly later, isn't it? The MotoGP qualifying follows us here. We're on a different stream, by the way, on YouTube. So you'll have to go into the JBMotorsports app to get that one open. And then we go 10:15, the F1 Sprint. Well, actually it's 10:20, the F1 Sprint starts with our pre-show, 40 minutes of that. Then it's 12:25 for F2 Sprint, 1:50 for the MotoGP Sprint, F1 qualifying from 2:45. And then we've got FP2 for Formula E at 3:25. 5:30 it's Formula E qualifying, 9:30 it's the race as well. So basically we're just in sprinting Saturday across everything. So 11 o'clock is the new MotoGP schedule. So 11 o'clock to 11:15, then 11:25 till 11:40. That's the next session. Okay, so now we know. It should all be fine. We've got plenty of time. Josh T's covering everything else. So we'll be on break when the session starts, which means I can go down to the world feed and get back up to the box and make sure everything's okay to start that stream. Okay, perfect. So it is going to work, surprisingly enough. So that we can see the sections now. Yeah, sure. No worries at all. Sorry for that. Can we see? We can see the sectors now. Of course you can, Matteo. We'll swap back over anytime you want. We've got that ability with our timing screens. There's Alberto Puig, the Repsol Honda team manager. Of course, we haven't talked about the major breaking news yet here on JBMotorsports. It's the fact that what was rumoured has now become true, but a year earlier than anybody expected. We expected Prima Pramac to become a Yamaha satellite team, but we were all thinking in 2026. It's happened for 2025. So now we know why Martin doesn't want to stay there, and now we know why Marc Marquez said it wasn't an option for him. So there you go. So Prima Pramac is going to become Yamaha bikes. Well, I was right, I guess, it's SHT. Yeah, you were, yeah. We all thought it was going to be 2026, but they've changed it for 2025. Caught everybody out, that one. We knew it was going to happen, but we didn't know it was going to happen this soon. So, now we know why Martin left to go to the factory, because he wouldn't have the factory bike anymore. He's on a customer team, but with the factory bike for 2024. Confused? Yeah, so am I. I doubt Morbidelli is staying there with this when this is the case. Yeah, I doubt Morbidelli is either. He'll be moving. He doesn't want to go back to Yamaha after wanting to leave Yamaha, so I can see him moving to Gresini. I can see Morbidelli going to Gresini, in all honesty. That seems to be a nice fit. It makes sense in your mind, doesn't it? For Digi to go there. Miller goes into 10th. Anea Bastianini is 12th. Salvadori in 17th is impressing me no end. Really strong lap times from him in this opening session. But Bastianini is 6 turns down and is estimated to only go 11th. Do excuse me. Got to bed at 1:35 and was up at 7:20. Not a lot of sleep. There's something on my eye. There we go. Bastianini moving up. Acosta still there too. If you're tuning in looking for qualifying, we're in a slight delay. 6 more minutes left of this session. 11 o'clock is the new start time for MotoGP's qualifying session. We will be live for it, obviously. SHG says, I doubt Morbidelli, you're saying there as well, either Grassini or VR46. Acosta has to do Q1 later. Acosta does have to do Q1 later. So, Grassini or VR46, the only two remaining Ducati bike outlets out there as well, now that Prima Pramac are gone. I don't see him at VR46. I can see Morbidelli at Grassini. In all honesty, I can. I think that would be a nice turnaround. And I think Grassini would become the factory bikes. But then again, I don't understand then why Marc Marquez was like, if he knew that Prima Pramac was going to become a Yamaha, why didn't he want to stay at Grassini where his brother races, where he's loved by the team, and have a 2025 bike? Why not just stay on the satellite team? I don't get it. He wants the factory red though, but Marc looks good in blue. But he's going over to the red team next year. We are in for such a great year. 2024 is interesting, but 2025, this year it's all about Ducati. Next year it's Ducati, KTM, Aprilia. Oh, it's going to be great. Can Yamaha get back in? Honda not so much. But 3 manufacturers next year are going to be in. It's going to be like the good old days when it was Yamaha, Honda and Ducati. But now it's Ducati, KTM and Aprilia. Proof that you can win in MotoGP. We play for Raul Fernandez. He's back out on the circuit after being checked at the medical centre. He's on a different bike set up at the moment. Right, there we go. He's getting the mic sorted as well on the boom. So he's on bike 2 with a new setup. Acosta, he's still second. Marc Marquez still third. Rins closing it down slightly. It's having that style, isn't it, of what's going to happen next. Acosta 131.991. Marc Marquez a 111.1. But Acosta back up into second position. Bagnaia setting the fastest sectors coming through. SSG says KTM have probably the strongest lineup in the MotoGP next year. Yeah, KTM do. Across both factory KTM and the customer team at GasGas. Yeah, when they become the GasGas, the Red Bull GasGas Tech 3 team. So they get brought into the main family as well. Such an important lineup next year. Can't emphasize it enough. It's going to be so important and so good at the same time. They need to have that calmness, that relationship to really push through. And that's what they've got. They've got that attitude. Bagnaia 110.587. He'll be up there. Once again, having some improvements. 3 minutes to go. Bagnaia across the line. Lap cancel for shortcut. Great. It's one thing after another, isn't it? So there's a 13-minute gap between sessions. That's quite late. Not usually that long. So we'll be on air at 10:58 for the qualifying session. So that's in 14 minutes' time. Because we're touting it down to the other commentary box. Print out the notes for the sprint race, like the grid and that lot. And get back up here. That's for Formula 1, by the way. And hopefully all should be well. It's going to be a quick 14 minutes there. Maverick Vinales just closing back up, 53 thousandths of a second down at the moment. Martin 132.507. Vinales up to the line and goes second by 73 thousandths of a second off the pace. 131.743. Not too bad. Gas watching on. Hervé Poncharoll. That's going to be Maverick's boss next year. Maverick jumping ship again. Away from Aprilia to KTM. It's all confusing, isn't it? But Vinales will try and become a race winner on 4 different manufacturers. No one's ever done that before. No one's ever done it on 3. He was the first. Suzuki, Yamaha, Aprilia. And now he's going to try and do it on KTM as well in the following season. We've got 3 Italian-Spanish rivalry next year with KTM, Aprilia and Ducati. Oh, God, yeah, good point, Julian. Oh. Do you know, it is just so mad, isn't it? 2025 is going to be one of the best years ever for MotoGP. And like them or love them, with Liberty having ownership control, they are going to promote the hell out of the series, which is what we want. Now, the SSG says KTM have probably their strongest lineups in their MotoGP history next year. Now they need to add Bastianini and Vinales to Tech 3 next year. They have indeed, yeah, I should say. But won't be surprised if there will be some fireworks between those riders, yeah. SSG also says, still remember when Vinales was in Suzuki, he was really good at that team, yeah. Won the British Grand Prix, of course. His first ever race win. Silverstone. In mixed conditions. When was the race was cancelled in 2018, wasn't it? Due to the amount of water. That was a really dark day. No one knew what the hell was going on with that one. I think the warm-ups happened, didn't they? And then they moved MotoGP to the first race. And then everything just got cancelled. Bagnaia 131.692. Last time we had a race cancelled, of course, was the sprint race in Australia last year, because they swapped it, didn't they? So they knew the rain was coming. So we had the Australian Grand Prix on the Saturday, and we had the sprint race scheduled for the Sunday. So they swapped it around, and we got the Moto 3 race in. We got half of Moto 2 in before it was cancelled. Then we got the Moto GP officially called off. It was one of those situations. Anyway, checker flags out. And everyone has taken it already. And no one's really going to set any more flying laps with them being in the pit lane. So it's Bagnaia, Vinales, Acosta, Marc Marquez, Martin, Morbidelli, D'Antonio, Alex Marquez, Ralph Fernandez, Aleix Spargo, Quadraro, Miller, Bastianini, Bezzecchi, Binder, Oliveira, Mia, Rins, Zarco, Salvadori, Nakagami, Augusto Fernandez and Luca Marini. That is your running order at the end of this session. We'll be back for qualifying in around about 10 minutes time. Don't go anywhere. Bye-bye.